Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, we will understand what is the state of Ethereum. We have seen that the blockchain maintains a ledger, which serves as a database for recording transactions. A property of the ledger is that such transactions can only be added and never deleted, just like an accounting ledger. In Ethereum, transactions change the global state, or world state, of the network. But what is the state? The world state is the current set of information held by Ethereum. I need to explain this concept better so as not to cause confusion. First, the state is not the ledger. The ledger records transactions, the purpose of which is to change the world state. Let's see a simplified example. Let's say Ethereum keeps account balance information. In the above example, Alice has 10 tokens. Bob, 15 tokens. Carl, 8 tokens. Such information is an example of a state. The set of all information is called the global state, which we will just call the state. It is essential to understand that, unlike the ledger, the state is transient and can change. Let's say that a transaction is performed in the current state. Alice sends 3 tokens to Bob. The state will then be modified, and the new state will now hold the information that Alice has 7 tokens, and Bob has 18 tokens. The state is a data structure maintained by the network. Like the ledger, it is also a database. The transaction, which changed the state, was recorded in the ledger. From the transactions, it is possible to retrieve the state. It is essential to understand the difference between the ledger and the state. The ledger stores transactions sequentially in a block structure, while the state stores information such as account balances and smart contract variables. A new user who receives the updated ledger, and knows the initial state of the network, can calculate the current state by running all transactions recorded in the ledger. The blockchain is entirely deterministic. If all participants agree on a single ledger, they will necessarily agree on the state. Ethereum is a permissionless blockchain, so anyone can send transactions to the network. Transactions start at a node, which propagates that transaction to other participants. If the person who wants to send the transaction is a node, he only needs to write the transaction. If the person is not a network node, he must send the transaction to a node for the transaction to be propagated. In a permissionless blockchain, all nodes must receive all transactions. Due to latency, this is not entirely true, but a goal. These transactions are stored in what is known as the mempool in each client, which maintains a kind of queue of transactions waiting to be inserted into a new block. Such transactions will not be included in a block in the order they arrive, but generally based on the tip contained in them. This is a subject we will talk more about in the future. The consensus mechanism must choose a participant responsible for including the new block in the ledger. In a proof-of-work mechanism, this participant is called a miner. In Ethereum, which uses a mechanism based on proof of stake, the one chosen to include the new block is called a proposer. The miner, or proposer, will pick a set of transactions from the mempool and build a block. This block will then be added to the ledger, and the transactions contained in the block will be used to update the state of the network. The execution client will execute all transactions one by one. Throughout this course, we will study the structure of transactions and blocks.